Hello, my name is Megan Flores, and today I will be presenting about social media insights for the Converse Shoe Company. This presentation was created for Professor Ron Weber in competition of the SEO Social Media Metrics and Analytics class, and for the Converse Shoe Company. The agenda of this presentation will consist of purpose, key factors, company background, fan analysis, visibility analysis, competition, post-analysis, insights and takeaways, and finally my recommendations. The purpose of this project is to analyze the social media platforms used by the Converse company and how social media can help the company generate leads and sales, as well as we can analyze how to better improve the social media analytics. Some of the most important key factors are to determine what kind of posts are the most efficient in generating sales, what kind of audience is the company attracting and are they reaching their target market, what kind of posts are the fans engaging with, and whether it is pictures, videos, voting polls, or giveaways, and finally, how to transform a social media fan into a loyal company consumer. The Converse company was originally established in 1908 by Elver Converse in the first manufacturing company in Massachusetts. This shoe was originally recognized as the first basketball shoe as athletes began to wear them in games. Chuck Taylor became one of the company's first ambassadors as he showed the preference for the shoe. The company later hit bankruptcy as their popularity died down after Taylor's death in 1969. The company was finally bought out by Nike in 2003, and although the two companies still remain as separate brands, Nike has managed to revive the Converse brand and reestablish its popularity. When we analyze the fan base following the Converse company in social media, I've come to the conclusion that the company is mostly attractive to teenagers and young adults between the ages of 14 and 25. Converse has a total of 44,000 followers on Facebook. They have a 23.8 million on Twitter, 247,000 followers on Instagram, and 1.97 thousand subscribers on YouTube. These are the only social media platforms that Converse is active in. According to Rival IQ, which is a web page that allows us to analyze social media insights for different brands. As we can see, Converse has a social audience of 719,000 people in total in all of their social media platforms. As we can see on this image provided by Rival IQ, we can tell that Converse does not post very often on their social media platforms, on any of them, as they weren't able to find any type of post within the last 7 days. We can also tell that Converse has a 0.1% total growth in cross-channel audience, which combines their Facebook page to their YouTube channel. However, when we look up Converse on a regular Google search engine and on their main web page, we can see that they have linked their social media channels to their main web page, which means that a person can look up the Converse and access their social media through the main web page and vice versa. Now, when it comes to the competition, Vans, Keds, and Puma are some of the biggest competitors for the Converse company. Each of these companies offers a variety of shoes that are very similar to the Converse and have gained their popularity as brand ambassadors, such as Vans is known as the skateboarding shoe. As we navigate through these images, we will compare social media activity with these 4 different brands and how they compare to the Converse activity on social media. When it comes to YouTube posts, we can see that Vans is leading in views and posts per day. We can also see that when it comes to YouTube views in a lifetime, Puma is leading with 194 million views. When it comes to YouTube views and also engagement rates, we can see that Puma has a more established lead. As well, we can see that Converse has, if any, but very little activity on YouTube, and therefore have no engagement on YouTube. Next, we can see Facebook posts and the Facebook engagement rate per post. On this slide, we can see that Vans is still leading on Facebook posts per day. However, Puma is receiving the most engagement per post. Next, we will analyze Instagram posts and Instagram engagement rate per post. On here, we can see that Converse is a little more active. However, Vans is still leading the way on posts per day on Instagram. However, we can tell that Converse is receiving a little more engagement on their Instagram posts, although they are not posting that very often, which means that the posts that are being completed on Instagram social platform are being more efficient when it comes to reaching out to the customers. Next, we can see that on Twitter, Converse is not very active in comparison to Keds, Puma, and Vans. Vans still remains the leading brand to continue to post. However, Puma is still continues to be the most engaged brand when it comes to post per engagement rate per tweet. By this, we can tell that Converse is not utilizing their social media platforms efficiently in order to reach out to their fans. However, we can see that as they post on Instagram, the customers are engaging, and therefore that is something that the brand can take advantage of. As we established before, Converse is not very active on their social media platforms. On here, we can see that on Facebook, they have an average post per day of 0.03 at an engagement rate of 0.008%. They also have no interaction with hashtags. On this next image, we can see what kind of post types are reasoning more with the customers whenever something is being displayed. The most common type of post that is receiving the most engagement on Facebook is videos. Next, we can see that on Instagram, the Converse company posts a little more per day with a 0.10%, receiving an average engagement rate of 2.22%, and also receives an 100% engagement with posts with hashtags. Instagram is known for a social media platform that consists of videos, photos, and stories. Overall, the most engaged type of post on Instagram by Converse is a photograph. The company is posting a total of one photo per day, and it receives a 3.49% engagement rate. Some of the most important insights and takeaways that we can take from the Converse company analytics is that they are most active on Facebook, and they receive 446 and 442,000 likes. However, they are not receiving as much views or engagement as they are on Instagram, which is where the company is a little less active than Facebook. However, it receives a better takeaway. On this next photo, we can see that on YouTube, whenever the company does actively post, they receive good feedback by the customers and are very successful at establishing subscribers. However, they do not post very often and do not take advantage of this. Now to talk about my recommendations. First off, as we can see, Converse has not been very efficiently active on social media, and this can be hurting their sales. My recommendations are to be able to develop a social media focus department where they can hire a manager head and different managers for each of the social media platforms that will focus solely on those specific platforms and develop social media plans to gain engagement and fan into customer. The next recommendation would be to establish a 6-month plan to brainstorm valuable and engageable content and a schedule on which these will be posted, which will help with the continuously post strategy and gain more followers and receive a higher reach. Finally, it would be important to create a stronger linked relationship between Nike and Converse. Nike is a very well established brand, and very few know that Nike actually owns the Converse brand. And if this relationship is linked, Converse may have a better outcome being owned by such a renowned brand as Nike. In conclusion, we can see that the Converse company is not very active on their social media channels, which this can be hurting their analytics when it comes to any search engine. This can also be hurting their engagement rate, their reach, and their impressions on the customers. Social media is one of the most efficient tools on advertising nowadays, and if the Converse company decides to create a team that will solely focus on their social media platforms to be able to increase their reach and their impressions as well as their engagement rates, the Converse company can be very successful and generate more leads and sales. Thank you. This has been my presentation.